Hello, good evening everyone. Myself Arnab Ganguly, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department in Gargi Memorial Institute of Technology College. Today this is the class of Power Electronics. Our topic is AC voltage controllers and that is with the RL load. So what will be the performance of single phase voltage controller with presence of the RL load we will discuss today. In our last class we have discussed about the single phase voltage controller with the resistive loads and also see the waveforms and the characteristics and the natures of that particular types. Now today our topic is single phase voltage controller with RL load. So when there is a change in the load circuit, that means previously we have discussed about only the resistance and now that is a RL load, that means inductive nature is appears in the circuit. So obviously the waveforms in the output, that means the current and the voltage across the load circuit, the waveform natures obviously will be changed due to the presence of inductance. And we know that in the presence of inductance, when we are considering about a RL circuit, obviously the voltage and current does not appears in same phase. Obviously there should be a phase shift and there should be a phase angle difference between the voltage currents. Now when we are considering about the resistive load, we see that already the voltage current across the outputs, that means in the load circuit, the both are in same phase as the load is in resistive nature. Now we are considering about the RL load, that means the inductance comes here. Now what happens, see this is the circuit. So the input voltage, that is Vs, that is a sinusoidal voltage here apply, and that is two thyristors connected in anti-parallel mode, and there is a resistance and inductance connected here. So firstly, for the positive half cycle of the supply voltage Vs, that is from 0 to pi, the T1 thyristor will be going to be in conducting mode, in forward biasing mode. But what happens, we know that as this is a thyristor, so obviously there should be a considerations of a firing angle, some getting currents, and then the thyristor will be in triggering mode or in conducting state. So suppose this is for the supply positive half cycle of the Vs, that is from 0 to pi region, this thyristor T1 is in conducting mode. So to do the triggering, there is a firing angle of alpha. So this alpha angle, that is actually my alpha, and now I will get the getting current Ig1. So here we are actually using the continuous getting current. So this continuous getting current mode, the SCRs are continuously supplied with that particular getting current. Now this Ig1, the getting current for this thyristor T1, that we can get from here, as this is the firing angle alpha. So what will be the nature of Ig1? You can see that. So that is like this up to pi point. Now in pi point, see the supply voltage comes in the 0 positions. So obviously what happens, see here, that is the circuit of, that is the waveform of corresponding load current and load voltage. So what happens, obviously at alpha firing angle, as the thyristor T1 is going to be in triggering mode, the conducting state, so from there we can get the output voltage across the load. So at alpha point, what is the voltage? So that is the supply voltage is already here, that means from this the supply voltage is applied to the load circuit. So the supply voltage nature is like that. So that is V0. Now for this V0, what happens, obviously we get the supply current is going to flow through the load, that means we get a waveform of I0 and Is here. But what happens, see as in the resistive circuit we see already that at the zero crossing of the supply voltage and load voltage also the current, load current is at zero positions, but in this case as this is a RL load, so in the presence of inductance obviously there will be a phase shift between the voltage and the current. So at the 0 point of the output voltage V0 the current will be at near maximum. So from these considerations, if we do the graph of the current, what happens, see from this alpha point the current value is like this. So at pi point what happens, now the T1 thyristor is going to be in reverse bias conditions as this the supply voltage is going to be in negative half cycles. So the T1 thyristor is going to be in reverse biased conditions, but as the load current continues to flow, that means this voltage also continued in the load side. So what happens, this load current I0 is going to be in zero conditions at 0 point, reaches the 0 point at this. So this is beta. This is beta, where that means this beta is greater than the pi. So this beta angle, this beta point, this current, load current is reached to the 0, and so obviously my load voltage is also now going to be in zero conditions. That means as already the thyristor T1 is in reverse bias conditions after the pi point, but it's continuing because the load current continues. So as when the load current reaches to the 0 point, obviously this thyristor T1 voltage will be goes to the 0 position. That means it is totally goes to the commutating mode. Now after beta point what happens, see the next thyristor T2 will going to be in conducting mode, and T2 will going to be in conducting mode at the alpha firing angle, and that will be applicable for pi plus alpha. So pi plus alpha means this is the pi plus alpha point, that means here. So at pi plus alpha point, so this T2 will be now going to be in conducting state. So from beta to pi plus alpha there is no currents and voltage in the load circuit. So from this point we will get the output voltage across the load because the conductions of the thyristor T2 from the pi plus alpha point. So what happens, see as the load, as the supply voltage is in the negative half cycle, so obviously this voltage also we get the voltage in this side. So this is going to be like that. And what will be the nature of the current? See obviously as we already discussed that there is a presence of an inductor, so the current is not going to 0, this is at the near maximum point. So this is the 2 pi point when this supply voltage and load voltage again comes to the 0 point, but what happens, the current is, load current is not in the 0 positions. So as the load current goes to continue, that is actually decaying and reaches at 0 at this point, that is greater than 2 pi. And obviously this voltage across the load, this thyristor T2 is going to be reverse biased at 2 pi point. But what happens, as this load current is continuing, so voltage also continues in the opposite directions. So we will get that, and at the current 0 point voltage also goes to 0. Now this is at the point that is we can call it as, that is 2 pi, and from these, so we can call this is a gamma point. Suppose this is a gamma point. So what happens, see that is pi plus alpha point here, and this is, we can write it as pi plus alpha plus gamma. Pi plus alpha plus gamma. This point is written as pi plus alpha plus gamma. So this we already get two other points, that is beta and gamma. So what is beta? So beta is called extinction angle. This beta is called extinction angle, and this is the gamma, that is the actual total conductions. So see, if we do the shows the positions of gamma, what happens you see. So this is actually the positions of gamma, that is the conduction part, that is the actual conduction part, that is gamma. So here obviously that is pi plus alpha plus gamma, because from this to this the T2 thyristor conducts, so that is pi plus alpha plus gamma. Now after that, at 2 pi plus alpha point, what happens? Now from pi plus alpha plus gamma to 2 pi plus alpha, there is no current and voltage across the load. Now at 2 pi plus alpha, again what happens? The T1 thyristor will be going to be in conducting state. So as the T1 thyristor will be in conducting state, so we will get the waveform across the load like the previous one. And one more thing is that when after pi plus alpha point the T2 thyristor is in conducting state, so we will get this getting current Ig2 like this. So now at 2 pi plus alpha point, what happens? The T1 thyristor is going to be in conducting state, so now we will get the getting current Ig1 up to 3 pi, up to which the thyristor T1 is in forward biasing mode. Now as per that, the voltage waveform will be like this. And the current waveform will be like this. So this is the voltage current, output voltage, getting current for these two thyristors, and the supply voltage waveform we see. Now there are other two parameters, that is VT1 and VT2. That means the thyristor 1 voltage and the thyristor 2 voltage. Actually why we are going to apply this, why we are going to show this, actually that shows us for which time the each of the thyristor in the each cycles is going to be in reverse biased conditions. So you can see that for the thyristor 1, see, from 0 point to pi point, that means for the supply voltage 0 to pi point, this T1 thyristor is in forward biasing mode. Now what happens? After the 3 pi point, this cycle is going to continues, and as we are going to completing this part, this graph, so what happens? Before this, the previous cycle comes like that, as we already show the nature. And for the voltage side, we also get that from like this. So now see, as the supply voltage 0 to pi, the T1 thyristor is in conducting state. T1 thyristor is in forward biasing mode. So up to which the T1 thyristor is not in the triggering conditions or in the conducting state, at the nature of the voltage across the thyristor 1, that is VT1, is actually as per the nature of the supply voltage Vs. So at alpha, the T1 thyristor is going to be in conducting state. As it is going to be in conducting state, so what happens? The voltage across the thyristor T1 going to drop, and that drops makes this voltage across 1 to 1.5 volt. So what happens? See, at alpha point, this is the profile, that means from here, that is the supply voltage, from here that is dropped to 1.1 to 1.5 volt, and that continues up to the point that is beta. So after that what happens, the T1 thyristor is going to be in reverse biasing mode, and again that will follow the supply voltage waveform curve. So what happens, see, at the beta point the supply voltage is here, see, as you comparing that, at the beta point the supply voltage is here, and so that is continuing like that. But at pi plus alpha point, what happens, the T2 thyristor is going to be in conducting mode, and as T2 is in forward biasing condition, so the T1 thyristor is now in reverse biased by the voltage drop of the T2 thyristors, and that is also 1 to 1.5 volt. So that means this is the voltage across thyristor drops down to 1 to 1.5 volt, and that continues up to the next cycle, and so on. So by that, if we considering this, the voltage waveform across the thyristor T1 is like that, and this is, if we completing the graph, see, that is the profile of the voltage waveform VT1, the voltage across the thyristor T1. Here you can see that thyristor T1 is reverse biased in the each cycle for the up to the pi radian angle. So as per VT1, what happens, you can see that when the T2 thyristor is in conducting mode, the T1, that means when the T2 thyristor is in forward biasing modes, so that makes the T1 thyristor is in reverse biasing mode, and when the T1 is in forward biasing mode, that makes the T2 thyristor in reverse bias mode. So as per that, as we already get the voltage waveform across the thyristor T1, so obviously the voltage waveform across the thyristor T2 will be just inverting nature of that, just opposite nature of that. So by that we can draw it like this. That is continuing like a same profile, but that is in inverting nature. See, so this is the nature. Now from these observations we can say that the each of the thyristor T1 and T2 will be in reverse biased conditions for each cycle up to pi radian. So from that, if we going to consider about the circuit turn of time, then that Tc will be pi plus omega second. So this is the voltage waveforms and the profiles when we are considering about the single phase voltage controller with RL load. Now there is another considerations is that is the considerations of getting signal requirements. Now what is getting signal requirements, we already see here, and when we are also considering about the resistive load considerations, then we see that there is a requirements of getting signals, and you see that the getting signals, actually there is three types, that is, one is pulse getting, another is continuous getting, number 3 is high frequency carrier getting. Now see, if we recall the last class, for the resistive load operations we see that this is the getting, this was the getting current waveform profile, that is Ig1. So what happens, this is that these types of getting profile, getting signals we get when we are using pulse getting mode. So for pulse getting mode, that is suitable only when we are considering about the resistive load. But when we are considering about the RL load, then what happens, as there is a presence of inductance, we know that there is a phase shifting, phase angle, there is some phase angle between the voltage and current. So the voltage 0 and current 0, not voltage at the 0 points of the voltage, current is not in the 0 positions, we see here in the graph. So what happens, if here we considering about the pulse getting mode, that is not suitable for the RL load. So here we see that the getting current profile is like that. You see in our previous graph, that is the getting current profile is like that. So this is actually, we call that as a continuous getting mode. That is applicable for the RL load, but what happens, there is one more disadvantage of this, that is, if we considering about continuous getting mode, that what happens, the SCR is going to be heated, and the heating of the SCR is actually going to be increased. So now for that reason, the high frequency carrier getting, that means here you can see that there is a train of firing angle pulse is applied in the getting signal. So this is also called high frequency carrier getting, and that type of applications is more advantageous than the continuous getting signal mode. So we can consider this as a applications in case of the RL load. So that's all. Today we considering about the single phase voltage controller circuit for RL load, and also we consider the different waveforms of voltage, current, output currents, output voltage, and also the getting signals. In our next class, we will discuss about the mathematics parts. So thank you for today.